Hello and welcome. I'm Em. I'm a self-sabotage mentor, as many of you know, and I work with entrepreneurs to help them to break the chains of self-sabotage, freeing them to have the success that they want to have and be the person that they want to be. I would really love it. It helps me out massively if you could subscribe, and obviously if you hit the bell, then you're going to get notified of when I post. So that would be awesome. So today I want to talk to you about something super important, and this is about the fear of rejection, but where it particularly crops up in your business and how it can have an impact and the things you can do to move past that. So let's think about rejection for a minute, right? Rejection, when we take it personally, feels horrendous, okay? Saying that, I'm assuming, does it feel horrendous for you? It feels horrendous for me. I'm very sensitive when it comes to rejection, and I find it something that is very triggering. And just bear in mind that bit I said, when we take it personally, because there are other ways to look at rejection, which I'm going to talk you through in this video. So where does this come up in business? Well, from working with clients, from my own experience and talking to fellow entrepreneurs, there seems to be like a key area here, and that is about two key things really. One is around asking for help, and two is around talking about yourself and what you do. So if you think about it, being an entrepreneur, connections are so super important in our business growth, but also within ourselves and how we operate. You know, entrepreneurship can be quite a lonely journey. So one of the key things is networking, you know, and I'm part of some amazing networking situations, but it took time for me to really put myself out there. And looking back, I wonder whether part of that was around this fear of rejection. Because if you are scared of being rejected and you're thinking, okay, so I could go and talk to these people, I might ask for help, and they're going to say no, that's going to make me feel really horrendous. I might not put myself out there again. Or I'm going to go to networking, but I'm going to share little bits of me because, God, if people actually saw the whole of me, perhaps they wouldn't want to connect to me. They wouldn't want to be in my network. So it changes our thinking. It stops us from showing up fully, from being ourselves, and for being vulnerable and asking for that help. And so on one hand, if that's creating a negative emotion for you, that fear, that kind of, you know, oh my God, people aren't going to like me, people are going to judge me. And so by holding back, yes, you are protecting yourself from that, but what are you losing? You know, what are you actually holding yourself back from by keeping yourself in that safe bubble? Okay, so the obvious one is the growth of your business, sales in your business, because if you're not building those relationships, if you're not talking openly to these people about what you're doing, then you are cutting off a massive load of potential clients, potential sales, because it's not just about the person you talk to, it's about who they know. It's about getting known. It's about people learning to trust you, to know you, to like you. And all of that takes connection. It takes genuine relationships. It's not about going out and saying, this is my stuff, buy my stuff. It's about actually, building those genuine connections. So business sales, that's one thing you're missing out on. But for me, actually, in many ways, that's almost the least important. There's something about, when you try and do it all yourself, there's a couple of things there, isn't there? It's like, one, assuming that you know all this stuff yourselves. Like, we've all got different areas of expertise. So when I'm networking with people, I'm building relationships where then we can catch up on voice notes, we jump on Zoom calls together and we're talking, and we're sharing our experience, we're sharing our knowledge, we're sharing our level of expertise. So I might be struggling with something, say around my marketing, and I know exactly who I can reach out to. And then there's other people who are struggling with stuff around self-sabotage, and they can come and talk to me, and we are just, we're sharing that stuff together. And so by, that's just two examples, but by doing that, we are growing as individuals, because I don't have all the answers and you don't have all the answers. And by bringing that stuff together, it's a personal growth journey, right? But also, there's times where you're going to be celebrating things together, and there's going to be times where you struggle. Some of you know I've had a difficult time of it recently. But by actually having that network of people around me means that I've had people that really get it, that really understand, particularly on the business side of things. And you can have those conversations with, because when you do this right, when you stop allowing yourself to kind of keep those walls up, when you say, right, okay, I'm going to be vulnerable here, and you actually form genuine connections, what you're forming is friendships. What I found is my confidence has grown massively because I have friendships with people who really get me, who I really get them, because we're on a similar vibe. We've got the same kind of passion and purpose, whether our businesses are completely different. We're about supporting people, and that in itself brings you together, and it brings together that community. Now, if I was letting my fear of rejection getting in the way, then I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have those connections on that deeper level. I'm not saying you won't make connections at all, but you haven't got that depth. So I'd be missing out on that support, but also being able to give that support to the others around me when they're having a hard time. So it's more than business sales. It's so much more than that. But yeah, if you've got a fear of rejection, you're going to hold back on all that stuff, and you are losing out. So you are where you think you're keeping yourself safe, you're harming yourself. So let's talk now about, okay, recognizing that fear is there. How can you change it? What can you do about this? Because you don't want to hold back. You can see the benefits now, and you don't want to hold back. Well, the first thing, and I think the most important, is reframing rejection. Now, for me personally, and for the clients that I've worked with, a big part of rejection is around when we take stuff personally, yeah? So, okay, for example, if I'm in a networking session and I'm talking about what I'm doing in terms of my business generally, or an offer I'm putting out there, or whatever that looks like, and that person doesn't show any interest, or is even negative about what I'm doing or what I'm putting out there, if I take that as a personal attack at me, or make it mean something about me and what I'm offering, that rejection is going to really sting, right? But if I can step back from that and say, hang on a minute, that's just someone else's view. It's about a situation or a circumstance. It's not personal. It's just their opinion. And that everyone is entitled to have, right? We're all entitled to feel different things. They might not have any interest in connecting with me, in building any relationship with me whatsoever, but that's okay, right? It doesn't make me any less of a person. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with me. It's either just that we're completely different, so we just vibe differently, and that's normal and that's natural, or they've just got their own stuff going on and they're not in a position to kind of connect with me at the moment. Whatever it is, if we can just go to this place of, instead of in our minds having this fixed view of, it's kind of like, everyone must like me. Now, I know we don't say this to ourselves, but there's some of that thinking going on if the rejection button's being kicked, because it's kind of like, well, if we don't have that expectation and we can just be a bit more free with it and think, right, okay, it's not a personal rejection, it is just what it is, then that just takes this really negative, horrible feeling out of it. It's when we personalize it, it's when we then start questioning ourselves and saying, well, what's wrong with me? That's when it hurts. That's what causes the pain. Not the person saying no. It's the meaning that we're attaching to it. So that's why this mindset stuff is so important. And this is the stuff I work with clients all the time, because when you change your mindset, you change the feelings it creates. So it doesn't feel crap anymore. It just feels like, well, it's one of those things. And the way I look at it, every time we get a no, whether that be connecting on a kind of, like I said, on a more personal level, like trying to create a friendship or spend more time talking to a person, or whether we're putting an offer out there, talking about our business, whatever that is, right? A no is creating space for a yes, right? So let me explain that. So, okay, it's wrong for that person, but by that person saying no, if you're continuing to put yourself out there and allow that vulnerability and allow that connection, you're just creating space for the right yes. You're creating space for the right people, for you, for your business, for all of it, to be welcomed in to you. Yeah? So a no isn't, oh my God, it's a no and it's horrendous. Okay, yeah, that's just creating a space. Again, it just helps to take this heaviness out of it and creates a kind of lighter feel to it. The other thing that I do to kind of combat any feelings of fear of rejection that come up is to remind myself of my business goals and actually say, okay, if I don't want to start self-sabotaging the shit out of this, what is the best thing for me to do here, right? So, okay, my goal is whatever that might be. Okay, so say I have a sales goal and my goal is to make X amount of money this month or to support X amount of people. I then to think to myself, okay, so what's going to support that? And as I've discussed in this video, networking is going to support it in like loads of different ways. So again, if I'm getting that bit of an icky feeling, as well as reframing the rejection, I just remind myself, what are those goals? And I have a choice, okay? I have a choice whether to feed into any feelings that come up for me, any kind of fears that come up for me, and act on that. Or I have the choice to say, okay, hang on a minute, I can reframe that stuff, and even if it's still there, even if there's a little bit of an icky feeling, I can choose to still take action anyway, right? I can choose not to sabotage my goals, my business, and I can choose to put myself out there. I can choose to reach out even if I feel a bit nervous about reaching out. You know, it's hard to reach out for help sometimes. You never know what people are going to say. It can feel vulnerable. But by doing it, you have so much more to gain than you have to lose. And by reminding yourself, yeah, what is my end goal? What am I trying to achieve? Just helps you to keep on that path, just helps you to keep on that focus. So I'd like to know in the comments what's coming up for you. What fear of rejection stuff comes up? What kind of emotions come up? And what is it stopping you from doing? And if you were to reframe it in this way, what could you do? Because that's the thing, it's about, okay, yeah, where am I now? But where do I want to be? And these are the steps you can take. And this is the sort of work that I do with clients. Obviously a lot more kind of depth, but these kind of mindset shifts, this reframing of thinking, the reframing of beliefs. So if watching this, you're thinking, okay, yeah, this makes sense, and I can put some of these things into place, but I think I have some deeper stuff going on. I think I have some deeper self-doubt stuff going on that obviously then feeds into rejection, then please come and talk to me. Let's talk about what's going on for you, and let's talk about how I can help with that. So if you go into the description on my video, you'll see a link for coffee and a chat. Absolutely no obligation, just a chance for us to connect, a chance for us to really explore what's happening and start to talk about how we can move you forward from this. Because if your business is important to you and you can see that you're self-sabotaging, then one of the choices you've got to make is to stop self-sabotaging your self-sabotaging away. You've got to decide, okay, I have a choice here. I know I've been doing this. I know I've got these feelings, but actually I want to do something different. And by reaching out and taking that first step is you taking back that control and saying, do you know what, I don't want to be like this anymore. And that in itself is such a powerful step. So whatever comes of that, do that for yourself. Reach out. Like I say, connection call is in the description on my video. As I said before, guys, it really helps if you can subscribe, like the video, and drop me a comment on here. Helps it to get seen by more people and helps me to grow my channel. And the whole point is I'm trying to raise awareness of self-sabotage. I don't want to see people stuck in it. I got stuck in it a long time myself, and I don't want to see people there. I want to see people really be aware of where they're holding themselves back so that they can then break through that. They can then start doing something different. So by you subscribing, liking and sharing, you are helping me to help more people to do that. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. I hope that's been helpful. Leave me your comments, any questions, drop them in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you. Have a brilliant day, guys. Take care. Bye.